Hello, I'm Julia Delbecchi, and I'm the Educational Resource Director here at the Ximenez-Fatio House Museum. I also often portray Juana Ximenez, and welcome to our segment, Storytime at the Ximenez-Fatio House, with our very own director, Dr. Roger Smith.
How are you all doing today? We're here in the Sea Captain's Room at the Ximenez-Fatio House Museum. Why a Sea Captain's Room? Well, we'll talk about sea captains and sailing and things like that in our story today. Our story today is kind of interesting because we normally read stories about national holidays. But guess what? In the month of August, there isn't a national holiday. Now, I know it's popular now to every day of the week is National Barbecue Day and National Hedgehog Day and all that kind of stuff. But when you get back down to the real big national holidays that most of us grew up with, there isn't one in August. So what we have in Gwenfiddletown is Gwenfiddle Day. It's the day we celebrate local holidays because every town, every region, every state, every community has a local holiday that they enjoy. In St. Augustine, it's the landing of Pedro Menendez on September 8th, 1565. In Oklahoma, where I grew up, it might have been the day that they discovered oil in Glenpool in 1897, or the land run in 1889. So here in Gwenfiddletown, they have what they call Gwenfiddle Day. So today's our day to talk about local holidays. It's another hot day here in Gwenfiddletown, and there seems to be no end in sight. August is always a hot month, you see, at morning or noon or at night. But that's true of each town across our great land, from the east all the way to the west. No matter what temperatures other months bring, August outheats all the rest. But that's not a problem in Gwenfiddletown, for the heat is the heart of our history. Let's go talk to Lee at the local library to explain all this hot history mystery. Lee the librarian stood at the back of the Gwenfiddletown book deposit. He was busy arranging a row full of chairs and returning supplies to their closet. Lee looked up, then he smiled big and wide as the five of us walked through the door. "Welcome, my friends. Come in from the heat. I have some iced tea I can pour." "What brings you to my little corner of heaven? I'm not teaching my class till tomorrow. But you're welcome to read any magazine here, or I've got some new books you can borrow." "Thank you," I said as he poured the iced tea. "You have an amazing collection. You work very hard to bring books to our town and broaden our reading selection. But today we're not here to check out a new book or read about lands far away. My friends have come by before going back home to hear about Gwenfiddle Day." "Oh my, you're early," Lee said with a smile, "but I'll spin you a tale with no problem. I love telling folks about Gwenfiddle Day, and if you have questions, I'll solve them. See, every year on the 15th of August, I sponsor a town-wide discussion about back when a pirate ship came to our land, crewed by Englishmen, Spaniards, and Russians. We feel it's important in Gwenfiddletown to remember how we were discovered. Without these old pirates of long, long ago, our land may not have been unrecovered." "Pirates?" the visitors gasped in surprise. "That's something we'd never have guessed. Your town is so wholesome in every which way. We assumed that your founders were blessed." "Well, pull up a chair," Lee said with a bow, "and I'll tell you a wonderful tale. A tale of how buccaneers came to our shores in a three-masted ship full of sails. It was 300 years ago," Lee recollected, "on the second full weekend in August, when Jolly Roger Gwenfiddle spied our bay from his black pirate ship called the Froggus. Now, Gwenfiddle wasn't your typical pirate. He had both his eyes and his legs. His men were well-mannered and friendly and such. They didn't keep rum in their kegs. They didn't use daggers or swords in their work and would never have fired a pistol. They didn't steal treasures of silver and gold or diamonds or glasses of crystal. But yet they were pirates, Lee snarled as he spoke. Old Gwenfiddle wasn't a dandy. He was feared the world over by captains and crews for robbing all ships of their candy. It's a little-known fact, Lee stressed to the group, that shiploads of treasure and plunder also held candies and cookies and cakes and anything else you can wonder. For the sugars and spices that came from new worlds meant all sorts of new sweet creations. And everyone knows how the monarchs of old loved goodies and sweet-type sensations. So Gwenfiddle, with the sweet tooth he had, didn't care for the treasures of gold. He wanted the one thing more precious than that, more sweets than his tummy could hold. But if he would steal them, the one man asked, how could this be done without fighting? Everyone knows from their readings of history that pirates found that too inviting. Yes, that is true, Lee answered the man. He's a thief and a true buccaneer. But he promised his mother so many years back that another man's life would be dear. So he learned how to sail in the quiet of night and board other ships without warning. He painted the Frogges all black stem to stern and was gone with the goodies by morning. From the frosty North Sea to the warm Spanish Main, the Frogges ruled over the waves, plundering shiploads of goodies and sweets and gooey things that the world craves. But treasures of chocolates and candies and snacks spoil quickly in summertime heat, and Gwenfiddle needed to find a cool place to store all his ill-gotten sweets. Well, one August morning, all laden with treats, and the sun heating up the new day, he sailed up the channel and rounded the bend to this place he named Coolwater Bay. For the waters we have come from natural springs that are chilly and cold the year round. The bay is surrounded by tall, massive trees that keep in the coolness that bounds. This place is too perfect, old Gwenfiddle laughed. I cannot believe such good fortune. The trees keep it cool here and cover my ship, while I give every man his fair portion. You men can do as you please, said the pirate, but my days of plunder are done. I'm taking my bounty from this load of goods to live out my life having fun. What will you do? His first mate cried out. You've always belonged to the sea. I'll set up a trading post, Gwenfiddle smiled, selling goodies to folks for a fee. Well, that's what he did, Lee said to the group, and his store is still here to remind us that it's never too late to start over in life and leave our old past back behind us. For Gwenfiddle knew he was wrong when he stole, and though he had never brought harm, he traded his goods for the smallest of gains and lived out his life on a farm. So each year in August, on the second weekend, we celebrate Gwenfiddle Day by making amends for the wrongs we have done by giving our talents away. The store owners hand out their goods at no cost, while handymen fix things for free. Most of our weddings take place on this day because the minister won't charge a fee. The doctors and nurses will set up a tent in the middle of Gwenfiddle Square, and all of the children get checkups for free, so we're all in good shape and good care. And no one can cheat on the process, you see, for we each have a skill and a trade. Even the mayor has something to share by handing out cookies he made. This sounds like a dream, the visitors said. What a wonderful town celebration. Why don't we do this in our little town or anywhere else in our nation? Your town does these things, Lee laughed as he spoke, as do all other towns, big or small. They don't call it Gwenfiddle Day, I'm sure. They may call it nothing at all. But every community all through the land will honor some local tradition. They might have a picnic or fireworks show or sponsor a sports exhibition. Some towns have parades with speeches and bands to honor great men in their glory. I know of towns that have Founders Day fairs. For us, that's a whole nother story. We all have our local heroes and champs and deeds that bring pride to our town. They're called local holidays. Everyone's got them. They're what keep our feet on the ground. For if we don't honor these local traditions, we soon will forget our own history. And then we'll have nothing to pass down the line, and our future will mush into mystery. For local traditions and holidays teach us the actions that led to today. We don't want to forget the events that have shaped us and learn what has made us this way. So head to your home now and come again soon, and be very safe when you drive. Your town needs you healthy to teach them their past and keep those traditions alive. Thank you so much, the visitors said. You've expanded our thoughts on this thing to help us remember how special home is and the value traditions can bring. For the town of our birth should always be dear, no matter how far we might roam, and we'll always stand strong as a nation because we've learned that there's no place like home.